Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Rob's Arcade. I'm your host, Rob French. Don't go anywhere. We got a really cool episode coming up. Hang tight.
Rob's Arcade, Rob's Arcade, where the games get played and the games get saved so they can be played on another day. Rob's Arcade.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Rob's Arcade. I'm your host, Rob French, and it's time for another midweek breakdown. Now, for those of you who don't know what the midweek breakdown is, you're wondering what that's all about. The midweek breakdown is basically where I come to you guys once a week, typically around the middle, and just kind of help you get through that middle hump, give you something to think about other than work or school or whatever. And it's new comic book day, so I like to share all the new books I got, as well as talk about the books I read last week and just talk about anything nerd in general. I got some new television shows out on Disney Plus and some other stuff, but we'll get to all that later on. First off, I guess I want to start before we get into any of the new stuff, any of the new books. Let's look at the books that I read last week. I've always said reading is like one of the best superpowers you can have. It doesn't matter if you like reading magazines, books, comics, whatever. As long as you're reading something, you're doing yourself a favor. And like I said, it's one of the best powers you can have. So read, 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 read. Now, I like to keep a journal for whatever reason, like a little log here of all the books that I read, as well as I like to keep little notes too, as like for books that I need to pick up, some stuff that I might have missed while it was in current rotation. And then here, like little prison checks, I like to leave a stroke for each book that I read. This week, it looks like I read 12, which I'd been hitting like a 10 mark for a while. So it's nice to see I got out of that 10 mark stride. But something I've been thinking about, especially this last couple of weeks, is it's probably not that important how many books I'm reading. Like I was thinking, like, is it more important to like just burn through 20 books if I'm not really retaining any of the information? So a lot of times I'm finding myself, especially over the last like 2 to 3 weeks, I've been rereading some of the same issues, if not the issues that I bought that week, reading them a couple of times, but going back and reading older issues again and just really getting familiar with the story. Because oftentimes, I'm reading so many different titles and not just, different titles with different characters, but sometimes multiple titles with the same character, like Spider-Man, Batman, and it gets to be a lot like spawn of information to try to keep track of what's going on in what book. So it helps to read some of these books multiple times. And that's what I've been doing a lot of times, recently. And I've been really busy, so it's been hard to get through like one book in a single sitting. So I might find myself reading like Spider-Punk issue number 2, getting like a quarter of the way through it, like a third of the way through it, and then going back and rereading it each time I go back to finish it. And, I'm like, reading sometimes the same issue like 2.5 times before I put it down, which I don't know, I've been kind of enjoying more instead of like trying to burn through and seeing just exactly how many books I can get through a week. It's been really nice to just kind of focus on that maybe 10 books that I'm reading. Instead of trying to read like 15, 18 books, maybe just read like about 10 or so, but really focus and really, really pay attention to what I'm reading. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at what I read this past week. Now, this is kind of cool. I actually went back to the comic shop. I went to a different comic shop this past weekend after hitting Stories on Wednesday just to grab some supplies. I needed some boxes. And I found a few books that I hadn't picked up. So I grabbed a couple of extra things. This is one of the extra books I picked up this week. This is kind of well, not really kind of, this is the lead up to the Dark Crisis currently going on in the DC universe. There's always some kind of crisis going on. Now we have the Dark Crisis. And that came out a couple of weeks ago, I'm guessing, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. And then this came out last week. This is Dark Crisis #1. Great cover by Greg Capello there, one of my favorite artists. Anytime he does a cover, I'm all over it. Also from DC, we got Batman #124, wrapping up the Abyss saga and then giving us a little sneak peek into Poison Ivy, which my mom is talking about going to Comic-Con with me and dressing up as Poison Ivy, so that ought to be pretty interesting. We've got Teen Titans Academy #9. Little backlog reading there, kind of going back and grabbing these issues when I go back to the comic shops, just kind of going through their back issues. We got issue 10, The Fall of the Teen Titans. I think right now they're at like issue 13 or 15, so I'm getting there, almost caught up. We have Flashpoint Beyond #2. More from Thomas Wayne and his misadventures and trying to recorrect the timeline. Speaking of timelines and Batman, we jump into the future timeline here with Terry McGinnis taking over the reins as the Bat. Really cool story. Love this cover. It's like a Pink Floyd rock and roll, like, I don't know, David Bowie cover. We've got Star Wars Galactic Cruiser, Halcyon Legacy #3. Yeah. Cool cover there with Anakin and Padme. We'll have more on Anakin coming up later on in this episode. Really cool story here featuring these two. Another cool duo, another cool couple, Han Solo and Chewbacca here in the second issue of their little, I don't know if this is a mini-series. I'm guessing this is probably just going to be like a mini-series. Another mini-series here. It's from Marvel. We got a Fortnite Zero War crossover. Very awesome. Spider-Punk #2. I'm loving this a lot. See, for those of you who are wondering what the Midweek Breakdown, this is what it is. This is what it's all about. For those of you who are wondering why I'm wearing a different colored shirt, I was wearing a pink shirt in the intro. The answer to that is because I spilled coffee all down the front of my shirt earlier, and I just made a complete mess out of myself picking up my buddy Andrew. Had to wear a hoodie into Target to buy another shirt. I could not go out in public. It was just like I looked like a kid, a fat kid just ate a chocolate cake. And I had to go to Target to get a new shirt, so this is why I'm wearing this black shirt. So I was really upset, man. I love my little Hello Kitty pink shirt. I was really upset about that. But then we also have Amazing Spider-Man #3, also ruining threads. So there we go. All right, well, there we go, guys. That's what we read last week. Thank you so much for tuning into this part. I'm going to run out and grab some more comics. Don't go anywhere because we have a lot more coming up. And while I'm grabbing some comics, I'm also going to share with you guys my thoughts on this week's episode or episodes of Ms. Marvel as well as Obi-Wan. So don't miss that. Hang tight, guys. I'll be right back. Right, guys, so me and my boy Andrew are heading to grab some lunch and some comics, but I thought on the way I would talk a little bit about Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel, because it's Wednesday, it's time for a new episode of the Midweek Breakdown, but it's also new episodes on Disney Plus. Now, my boy Andrew hasn't seen the episodes, you might not have seen the episodes, so I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but I did want to talk about them because we had some pretty good points at lunch, and I wanted to share them with you. And there were just some really great episodes as well. So if you haven't been keeping up with Miss Marvel or Obi-Wan, check it out. If you have Disney Plus, if you don't, get it. If you know somebody who does, go check it out. I was talking about Obi-Wan, and again, I don't want to give any spoilers about this week's show, but I've just been really happy with the show in general. The look of it, the feel, the acting, all of it, the screenwriting has just been really amazing. A few weeks ago, as the show was premiering, I kind of threw some things out there I was looking forward to as the show was coming out. And there wasn't a whole lot of like speculation on the plot, but I did want to see a few key like points or events or whatever in the show, and they pretty much hit every mark I've wanted to see. I wanted to see more live action characters from animated shows, and they've done that with the Inquisitors, and of course little cameos of like retired clone troopers. Was really hoping to see a great performance from Hayden Christensen in the Darth Vader outfit, and he hasn't let me down so far. It's kind of hard to act and portray a character and get across what you're trying to convey in each scene when you're wearing a heavy costume and a helmet. But it looks like Hayden has kept up with his discipline as far as the training and the action and all of that go. So I've been excited to see more of him, and I hope he gets his own show. I would really like to see a Darth Vader spin-off, kind of like Mandalorian was a springboard for Boba Fett. I think it'd be really great if this could be a springboard for Vader to get his own series, so we can kind of see how he builds that reputation. We get to A New Hope, Rogue One, and he's already got this name for himself. It'd be pretty nice to see how he got there. And then finally, I was really hoping to see like that, I guess, that merge of the prequels into that world we get to know in A New Hope, and I felt like they've done that really well also. Like, without too many spoilers, there are moments where I feel like, God, this feels just like episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then other moments where I'm like, gosh, this feels just like episodes 4, 5, and 6. So I don't know, everything I've been kind of wanting out of the show, they've pretty much been hitting right on the head. And then really quick, Miss Marvel has turned out to be a really fun show as well. That's only in its second episode. Obi-Wan's getting ready to finish up. We've only got one more episode coming out next week. But we'll have Miss Marvel to keep us busy on Wednesdays going forward. And so far, like I said, it's a really fun, really cute show. I'm really digging the look and exploration into like the Middle Eastern and the Pakistan culture and traditions. I kind of felt like Marvel really dropped the ball on that when it came to like Shang-Chi. There's so much culture and traditions we could have had in Shang-Chi, but it was just like, they're like, oh, we'll just do dragons and kung fu and that'll be enough. Ms. Marvel really does a great job of like showing us like, the community, their foods, the clothing, the parties, everything, and the Pakistani culture and their traditions, which is just really, really cool. The overbearing, cultural parents that, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And it's a great coming of age story, which are so often told through the eyes of a boy. It's pretty neat to see it being told through the eyes of a teenage girl. I mean, we've got like, Teen Wolf, Karate Kid, even like Spider-Man. The last Spider-Man movies were pretty much like a coming of age story about a teenage boy. And we don't really get a lot of those unless it's like, the Princess Diaries or whatever. It's just, you don't really get a lot of cool coming of age, teenage stories, growing up in high school. And so it's a nice, fresh take on, a classic concept and a classic story trope. So anyway, that's my take on those shows. I'm really looking forward to more from Ms. Marvel. Can't wait to see what happens with Obi-Wan, and stick around to see what happens on this episode, guys. Thanks. All right, guys. Well, there we go. Welcome back. That looked like a fun little adventure, right? It was a fun adventure. Aside from spilling coffee on myself, everything, it's like I haven't learned my lesson. I'm drinking more coffee. But aside from spilling coffee on myself, everything was amazing. It was really great hanging out with Andrew again. I feel like either, he's been on vacation or just like, I don't know. I feel like the last couple of weeks we've just missed each other on these Wednesdays. And there's nothing better than getting up with my boy Andrew, hitting up some Potbelly for lunch, and then grabbing some comic books. Now, I went to 2 different comic shops. I actually went to Richmond Comics before I got up with Andrew and grabbed some lunch, and then we went to Story. So you'll notice in the video, if you see a comic book that's in plastic, I got it from Richmond Comic Books if it's bagged and boarded. If you see a comic that's naked, I picked that up from Stories. Now, I also got this taken care of at Stories. You guys are amazing over there. They, participate in the free comic book day on the comic book Saturdays. And I got this the last free comic book day just a few weeks ago. And they have these awesome little spaces here that are usually like completely blank. I guess so stores can stamp them if they want. This comic actually says here, from your friends at Dark Horse Comics, and then it's left open. So I was in there a few weeks ago, and I was like, hey, if I bring in a comic, will you stamp it? And they were like, absolutely. So I got this stamped today and was really happy. Those guys are awesome. Everybody at both Richmond Comics and both Story Comics are just really, really great people, really amazing. Always look forward to, getting up there and hanging out. I miss my folks back home in Brandon, Florida, over there at the Comic Book Club Incorporated. But it's nice to be back here at Richmond, hanging out Richmond Comics and Stories. So typically, we'll jump in, we'll show you the new comics, and then we'll do R4's pick of the week. But we're not going to do that this week. We're going to do something a little different. We're going to do my mom's pick of the week. So before I take a look at the comics and show you what I'm looking forward to reading, let's take a look at my mom's review of my comics and her take on what I picked up this week.
Checking out Robert's new comic books. New Fantastic Four, the Beast, the Hulk. I love that.
Wolverine, but okay.
Now, I love this. I'm not sure who she is, but she's a Wolverine Marvel character. She's got those blades coming out. Funky dress and all. I don't know Iron Fist, so he must be new. Or he's just someone I'm not familiar with. He carries a gun and weapons. Spider-Man and Loki. This is a double edition, it looks like. Introducing Loki, $20.99. Wow, that's really in the future. What if Miles Morales became Thor? Well, I'm not sure who he is.
He's the new Spider-Man.
Oh, he's the new Spider-Man. Well, he can't become Thor because he's the new Spider-Man. Look at his fly outfit. All right. Excuse me. Another one. I'm not familiar with him. He wears, you can tell he's a new dude because he wears tennis shoes.
It's the same book. It's just a variant.
Oh, it's the same one, just a different cover. Oh yeah, 4 and 4. So you can tell it's a different thing. We all love Iron Man. It kind of looks like, is that Batman? Who is that? Catwoman? Catwoman looks like. Something's going on over there. Not sure exactly what. Wiccan. Huckling and Wiccan.
Hulkling.
Huckling. Are these superheroes to fight the Wiccan people?
Well, that's the Hulkling, and that's Wiccan.
Oh, okay. These are all new characters to me. Superman, son of Kal.
Kal-El.
Kal-El. This is a DC Pride one. So that's a new Superman. I never saw that one before. And that looks like it's a new show. Jurassic League. This must be with dinosaurs and the Rectauruses and all, T-Rexes and all. Yeah, you can tell. Gotham City. Oh gosh. I think we're gonna go see Jurassic Park soon. It's gonna be good on the big screen. Oh, another one.
It's a variant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the ones that are in bags I got from Richmond Comics, and the ones that are not in bags I got from Stories.
Oh, you went to 2 places today. Oh, that was fun. Here's another Pride. This one's a little thicker. It's almost like a book. And it's DC Pride, the Tim Drake special. Is he Tim Drake?
Mm-hmm.
He's like almost like a Robin Hood.
He's Robin.
Oh, like a Robin. Yeah, like Robin.
He's the second Robin.
Yeah, he's like Robin.
The third Robin, excuse me. He's the third Robin.
Oh, okay. Third Robin. And then he always has to have a Spawn to his new collection because they come out whether it's once a month or once a week or whatever. So that's a really nice collection you got here, son. I really like them.
What's your favorite, do you think?
Well, one of my favorite, I think, is going to be, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to it now because I like the art, is this chick here.
Oh, yeah, I picked that one up. I had a different cover, and then I saw that one, and I went back and I grabbed that cover.
You know, because it's just her on the front.
It looks like candy.
And it just looks like it's fun to read.
To me, it looked like candy.
Yeah, so I like this cover. But I'm sure some of the stories for the other ones.
This Wolverine, issue 22.
Okay.
Guest starring Deadpool.
Yeah.
And that's his daughter, X-23.
Oh, okay. I like that. That's his daughter. Following in the footsteps of her dad. Then the next one I think I like is... let's see here. What covers I think look interesting to me. This one's kind of looks cool. I think because I don't know some of these people. That one's kind of interesting, but it's not my favorite. She's my favorite. That's kind of wicked looking. I think this one and that one. Maybe it's because of the colors.
Mm-hmm.
They just pop out to you. So those are my two favorite.
Did you know, actually, that I learned this, that red and yellow are the two colors that are most appeasing to the appetite?
I believe it because that's what I just picked.
So, like, if you actually notice, next time you're driving down the street, take a look at all the fast food signs, and they're all
McDonald's.
red and yellow, or some variation of red, yellow, and white, maybe, something like that. Red.
Sonic's red and white. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense because those kind of popped out and spoke to me.
All right, well, there we go. That was a lot of fun. My mom and dad have supported my comic book habit like my entire life. I don't think there's ever been a moment where they were like, you know, aren't you a little bit old to be reading comic books? Don't you think you should stop reading comic books? I mean, maybe they should have. I don't know. But they have never, ever stopped me from reading any title that I was ever interested in, whether it was Spawn, and I was probably a little bit too young, or if it was like a horror comic. I mean, no matter what it was, they've always just supported my interest, and that's really, really awesome. So thanks, Mom and Dad. Really appreciate it. Especially my dad. You know, we got Father's Day coming up this weekend, and I just can't say enough about the guy. He's just amazing. You know, he's probably going to outlive us all, no matter what he's dealing with and what he's going through. And he's just a hell of a dude. And without him, like I've always said this, like I wouldn't have a love for video games, I wouldn't have a love for movies, and I wouldn't have a love for comic books. It all goes right back to my dad and him introducing me to horror movies, and from there horror comics, and taking me to Toys R Us and buying me a Sega Genesis before I even knew what one was. Again, always supporting my video games interest, and just always really being there and helping kind of craft the person you see before you. You know, I'm 42. I've been reading comics, playing video games for much longer than some of you guys have probably even been alive, for like 30 years now. And it's been a lot of fun seeing the genres age and grow, whether it's movies or whether it's comics or whether it's, video games, whatever it is. It's just been a lot of fun being a part of that. And like I said, I owe all of that to my dad. So happy Father's Day to all you guys out there. Hope you guys enjoyed. Happy Father's Day, Dad. Thank you so much. And let's go ahead and check out what I picked up. But before we do, we also got some cool stuff here. We grabbed some supplies. We're going to be redoing some boxes. One of my favorite things to do is just to kind of go through old comics. So we got some really cool comic boxes here. I get to put those together and go through some old comics and rebox those guys. And then I picked up this here Japanese comic. I don't read just American comics. I read Japanese comics too, more commonly referred to as manga. I picked this up here, Kaiju number 8. It looks like it's a fairly new series, if I'm not mistaken. I've never seen it before. I've only found a couple of issues. It's 2017 here, it says. So maybe it's not as new as I thought. 2020. Okay. Well, it's not that old either. But I found the first issue actually, ironically, at Target yesterday, just running around. I was like, hey, I've never heard of this. Everything else was out like volume, like issue. It's not an issue, Robert, it's a volume. Everything else was out like volume, like 15, 20 something, whatever, 36. It's like, nah, I don't want to jump into that. But Kaiju 8 by Naoma Matsumoto was out or volume 1. I was like, let me grab this. I haven't read a good manga in a while. And then crazy, ironically enough, at Stories today, I found volume 2. Really excited. I was really excited to grab this. I haven't read a good manga in a long time. I haven't picked up anything in ages, years. So just really excited, and double whammy, found volume 2. So anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up and look at what I picked up from the comic store. Again, we've already seen what my mom picked and what she thought. Let's go ahead and see my take on things real quick. All right, so we know we got the Jurassic League, really fun. This is just, every page is just a treat. Really cool take on the Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman superheroes. Dinosaurs, Aquaman, all of it. It looks like we got Bizarro here on the cover. So really cool. We've got a DC Pride cover. Beautiful cover here. The son of Kal-El, the new Superman. It's actually been a really good book. I've been enjoying reading his Superman more than the original Superman, to be honest. More DC Pride. We got the Tim Drake special. They had the Pride book. Now we got the Tim Drake Pride special. Spawn, King Spawn. More from the Spawn universe. Issue 11. And yeah, my mom's right. It's like every week we got Gunslinger Spawn, King Spawn, something Spawn. Iron Man, and what my mom thought was Catwoman or Batman or somebody. It looks like Iron Man's getting engaged. God, it's so hot. I hope I'm not showing sweat bullets in my forehead here. I'm doing this out on the patio so I can get some quiet, and it's just kind of hot. little warm out here. Celebrating more Pride from Marvel. We got Hulkling and Wiccan, #1. Read their stuff before. Wasn't really all that interested, but I figured I'd give it another whirl. We'll see if this one doesn't pique my interest a little bit more. It was just kind of a weird, like, too much royalty, you know? It's like, that's kind of why I never really got into Thor. It's just like too much royalty and politics and that kind of stuff. Spider-Man 2099 Exodus #2 and introducing Loki 2099. Just a lot of science fiction-y stuff I don't quite understand. A lot of weird sanctions and just some really cool takes on future incarnations of our characters from today. We got Iron Fist #4. Beautiful cover. My mom was not lying. One of my favorite covers as well. Really great book. I love the Shang-Chi and the Iron Fist book. I wish the Shang-Chi movie could have been more like it. Another beautiful cover here. We got Wolverine 22. Been liking this story a lot. Just a lot of fun from Deadpool. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading that. Definitely looking forward to reading these guys. Whoa, be careful, Rob. Don't knock the camera over with your cord there. We got we got one from Richmond Comics, and like I said, one from Stories here. Picked up one for a little dude who comes into Vinny's all the time, and want to treat him to something cool there. He loves comics, so why not? But this is Miles Morales becoming Thor. These have been really fun, really cool one-shot stories. I love them all so far. And my favorite, what I'm looking forward to reading most, as I mentioned a moment ago, I got into comics through horror comics, but one of the very first superhero comics that really caught my eye was a What If title, and it was What If the new Fantastic Four remained the Fantastic Four, and I missed the original run of the new Fantastic Four, which appeared in the pages of the Fantastic Four. It was Fantastic Four number 437, 438, and 439. Now, I read the What If, which is just a really cool story because it's Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, Ghost Rider, and not Beast, but Wolverine as the Fantastic Four. And I also just enjoy these books because they're a great chance to go back and read classic stories that I missed out on and didn't get a chance to read, when I first got into collecting comic books. I love the artwork by Arthur Adams. I remember his artwork grabbing my eye from a very young age growing up, and I'm just really, really excited to read this. And it's a heavy book. I love big, thick books. The Pride book, like my mom mentioned, they're almost like actual books. They're not just comics. Those are my favorite. Nice, meaty, heavy books. Kind of why I also like the manga here. They're nice and meaty, nice, thick books. And, sometimes I'll just read a little bit here, a little bit there. A lot of times when, I'm got some downtime and, we're not really busy at work or whatever, I'll grab a book and just kind of flip through. And the thick ones, I love them the most because, you just get one more for your money, and it's just, always there for you to help you get through those slow moments in the day, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I don't know. I think maybe the heat's getting to me, and I'm going to pass out. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. Don't pass up a chance to hit that like button. Please comment down below. I always like hearing from you guys. I'd be really interested to hear what your favorite book out of my collection today was. Anything that I picked up that really caught your eye. Go down there and tell me what you thought about it. If there's anything that I don't collect that you do and you think I should check out, let me know. And if you just got anything going on, you just want to share anything, again, hit that comment section. Let me know. Shoot me a thumbs up for some support, guys. Please share this video. Let's get some more people here in Rob's Arcade. Remember to subscribe. Trying to get on a better routine of getting you guys, more content, more videos to watch. Like I said, I've had a wonky last few weeks, wonky last couple of months. So bear with me as I try to get things situated and back on track. but you don't want to miss any upcoming videos. So like I said, make sure you subscribe, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hope you guys are having an awesome week so far. Please enjoy the rest of the rest of it. I will catch up with you before the weekend. Take care, guys. Remember, this isn't goodbye, simply to be continued. And until next time, don't spend that quarter anywhere else. Later.